Welcome, one and all, to another installment of THRS Deep Cuts. I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
We're here once again. We're going to chat about a bit tonight. We've got some singles and that to get through in a minute. The main reviews for tonight are going to be on the latest from Enuff Z'Nuff and local band Wicked Smile. We're going to revisit an old school classic from a band called Fastway, which gets requested every bloody year. So we're going to finally get around to that because it's turning 35 this year. Before we get stuck into things, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share, say hi in the comments, all those little things that everyone gets you to do. Make sure you get involved, like, share, comment, get in the chat, have some fun with us tonight. And if you be so kind, follow us, because all the details you need to do that are in the description or the post of this, whether you're watching now live or later on or listening later on. Thank you for tuning in with us whenever you do so. But please follow us via the links in the description. And if you be so kind, do the same thing and check out our fantastic sponsors in Squidding, Shrimping, Alt Cult, and Rockstar Finance. A big thank you to them and their support, as well as our Patreon supporters too. If you'd like to check out that, the information is there too for that. I'll get to more of that later on. But like I said, there's a lot to get through tonight. If you're on Instagram, you can keep watching. That's fine. You can just stay there. But any comments you leave on Instagram won't come through to us on this third-party application. We've got linked all into this sort of nonsense that we got going on. There hasn't been quite the right integration, so I have to use a third-party base. So I can't get the comments, but you can watch just fine. No problems there. Cool. I reckon that's about it. Let's get to some comments quickly before we do the rounds here, Dave. So Sally's joined us. Good to see you here, Sally. Thanks for joining us once again. Saying, hey, guys. Nudes, gents, good to see you. Thank you very much. He's also sent me photos like you and Nikki have done for tomorrow as well already. So that's awesome. So thanks for getting in nice and early on that one. Sumaleth Rowan, thank you for joining us over on YouTube. Good to have you here. And Matthew Corder on Facebook. Hi, fellas. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us once again. There's a bit to get on through as always. But yeah, like I was saying, we'll do the round. So Dave, how's your week going?
Yeah, pretty good. We had AEW Full Gear pay-per-view. That was awesome. Probably not as good as All Out, but still pretty awesome. There was some good surprises. Not going to blow up for anyone. So if you're a wrestling fan and you haven't seen it, check it out. Apart from that, work's been killing me. Just full on all day and just flaked out when I got home yesterday. Just like, bleh. But apart from that, good to be busy. I'm getting ready for the Motley Crue taping that we're doing this weekend. So listening to lots of Motley Crue and getting prepared for the end of the year. I've got lots planned, so there's a lot to get through. So keep following us because it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot. I'll get to what's happening with the end of the year, probably toward the end of tonight. But yeah, there's a lot going on in that space. And our Patreon supporters already got a nice big update on all that tonight. So I laid it all out for them there. But yeah, there's heaps going on now. Just quickly, Sean, good to see you from over in WA. Thanks for joining us, mate. Thank you very much for joining us. But yeah, no, for me, it's just end of year production deadlines now. It's fucking full on. This is the single busiest time of the year for me when it comes to all this, because not only do you have like normal stuff like everyone has with Christmas and working and all sort of stuff, I've now got to do fundamentally between 6 and 8 weeks worth of television content in the space of about 2 or 3 weeks, which becomes a big crunch. That's why we're getting together on the weekend. There's a big filming block planned and we've got it all mapped out. It's all going to be a big old session. So we're going to be very tired probably on Sunday, but it'll be worth it. And then I'll just sit down and go crunch. And that's me for the next 3 weeks, just ruled out of pretty much anything. So we'll see what happens in that regard, but I'm looking forward to getting together because it will be the first time we filmed on this new set. It'll also be the third time gotten together on the set in about 2 years. So with everything going on, we're finally opening up. We're going to get there. It's going to be cool. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Around that, everything's good. So everything's really, really good. Everything, I don't know, I'm really happy with general speaking life. I can't complain about much. It's just a matter of getting it all done now, which is I'll take it now while I can because it's going to get crazy next week. So I've got a couple of days left of relative peace and then it's fucking gangbusters. All right. Got a couple of more comments here. So Leland, thank you for joining us on Facebook. Good to see you here. Thank you once again. And TC, our good friend TC. Hi, guys. Found my Sammy Kerr T-shirt, so I'm ready for the Fastway review. Hey, Tim, serious note, if you want to jump in for the Fastway review, because I know how much you love this album, let me know, and I'll PM you the meeting link. So, yeah, let me know if you are at all interested in doing that. It'll be a bit of fun to get you in. I'm not sure what time we'll do it, but you'll be able to follow us and see how we go with that. So let us know if you can. Lee's saying here, now with things opening up, any gig guides second possible on these live feeds? There will be, Lee, but we're going to bring it back in the new year. Once it gets into this sort of time of year, I don't have the time to sit down and map it all out as much as I would like to. So I've basically put a stop on, until I get things done, I put a stop on gig guides and interviews and that until I get the TV block done, because I have to get it all submitted by about the 8th of December, which is where it gets a bit crazy. And then after that, it's kind of hard to get people's time to get it all sorted out. Everything sort of goes a bit quieter. So we'll see how things progress. I might try and do some more social posts in that regard, but we will be bringing it back with Nikki and Jody in the new year, along with some interviews coming back in the new year as well. That's the plan, to make sure we all get on top of all that sort of stuff. But yeah, this time of year it goes nuts. Dave, you've been here a few times with me now, and you know how sort of crazy it gets.
I've seen a lot of this. I've been for a lot of it. You get to edit it. I just turn up and drink beer and talk music. I get the fun time.
Yeah, that's what I'll be doing after the weekend, is editing, and more editing. And my family won't see much of me unless they're looking at me at my desk. That's how it's going to be. But we will get the gig guide and all that stuff. I'll come back as soon as we possibly can. It's just have to put a hold on. There's only so much that I can do in a day. And that's where it is all at. If you want to help me do more, and this is not for you, Lee, because you're already on there, but for people that want to help me do more or get more done, so I have to worry about doing other things, then Patreon is the way to do it. If I get to sort of somewhere near minimum wage on that, then I'll be able to just focus on doing this, and that'll be that. All right, let's get on to some hard rock happenings and get stuck into things. Give us your thoughts as we move along. Always happy to have it. So, yeah, let's get on to the first one. Obviously, today marks the 4th anniversary of Malcolm Young passing away. There have been a lot of social media posts about this today, so it would be kind of silly if we didn't at least touch on it a bit. But I don't know, Dave, it doesn't feel like it's been that long now, does it?
It really doesn't. Julia told me earlier today that it's been 4 years since we lost Malcolm. And she's like, 4 years. And I remember that day. We were filming. We just finished the filming session and jumped on social media. It was all over. It's just like, damn. But it's weird when one of the musicians that I grew up listening to, I mean, you know all about the classic rock magazines, classic rock bands. And, you know, the musicians have gone, but someone that you grew up listening to, it's very different in that sense. And, he's left a remarkable amount of music that, you know, hope everyone's listening to AC/DC today, because it's certainly dated forward. And, it's just 4 years, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's flown by. For those, just if you're watching, give us your favorite AC/DC song or riff in the comments if you're tuning in, just to get a bit of a conversation going in that regard. But yeah, it's I mean, for me, time flies anyway, because it's always just nonstop. But you don't, especially the last couple of years, how fast they've flown too. Because like they drag, but they don't drag at the same time, because you have no way markers for memory points over the last couple of years. You've got maybe a birthday, maybe an anniversary or something that comes through mentally to be like a waypoint. But the rest of it's just a grey fog, because we weren't able to go out and do anything. There was no experiences. We were all just sort of at home, and that was about it. So those 2 years sort of flew by in hindsight. And then you think about the 2 years before, and you're just, for me, it was always just so flat out. It wasn't funny. So it's just sort of like, okay. And then you sit there. It's one of those things where you sit there and go, fuck, 4 years? Like, and that's literally how it sort of hit me today with it, thinking about it. And so, yeah, it's a doozy. But like you were saying, the legacy will never be forgotten. And I'm glad the band is still doing stuff. The last album was pretty bloody good. So if they can keep doing that, and there's enough ideas to sort of keep it ticking on, I'd rather them release the ideas, you know, finish them off kind of thing, and put them out there than they don't get heard at all kind of a thing. So yeah, it's a strange old feeling, that one, the fourth anniversary of it. Well, I mean, yeah, it'll be nuts. Sooner rather than later, it'll be to 10 years, and then we'll be like, oh, fuck, that went by quick, and we'll still be doing the same thing that we're doing now, just with a little bit more gray hair in our heads. So, yeah, it's older men, grumpier older men. But it's a quirky one, that one. I didn't really think about it until today when people, it's finally ticked over, and it's like, shit, wow, okay, that doesn't feel like it, but clearly it is. While we're doing the sad stuff, we're going to take a moment here to acknowledge the passing of one Richard Brown, who was a local supporter of the scene. He was a big devotee of Warbirds and other bands as well. So I've seen a lot of the local scene, you know, pouring out their hearts on this one. I can't say that I knew him very well, had him on Facebook, but that's about the end of it for mine. But just while we're at it, just a condolences to his family, friends, and all the people that knew and loved him, because quite obviously he left a big mark. And it's good that on the flip side of restrictions being lifted, I did see a post earlier today saying that, you know, those that knew him, there'll be no restrictions now on the ceremony sending him off. So people will be able to be get out there and hopefully, you know, do that together. I mean, it's a sad reason to come together, but at least we can do that now, if that makes sense. I don't know. Have you got anything you wanted to say on that one, Dave?
I think I met him, but I've seen pictures on the Amph's been posting on the Warbirds. Pretty sure I met him at a gig. He, you know, didn't know him, but I met him, and he's a really nice guy, really friendly and polite, and happy to chat. But yeah, it's sad when you're with people like that you know you kind of recognize the face in the scene. So, yeah, you don't know them, but you know of them, and yeah.
I think it's more a case of you acknowledge that the hole they leave for the people that did know him well and he made an impact on. So that's the mark of anything good in my mind. If you can leave that sort of impression on a lot of people, then you've done pretty bloody well. So yeah, like I was saying, not that we consider and say we knew him well, but we're acknowledging it and we're seeing it happen. And people that are paying tribute to him have said all nice things about him online. So just again, our condolences to those that knew him, and hopefully everyone can try and make the best out of the situation now that the restrictions are lifting in a few hours tonight as we go through this one. Now, we did get some comments here, which is cool. Lee has gone, venture down AC/DC lane to view those art memorials of Malcolm today. Always stokes the AC/DC Flames. Yeah. Power Age on prior to this feed. Love myself some Riff Raff. Very, very nice. Cool choices there. And that little mural down there is very, very cool. I do have to say that one. It's a shame that Cherry Bar is no longer there, but at least that didn't get taken away at the same time. So I'm happy that's still there. The artwork's still up. Sally's got my favorite three are If You Want Blood, Whole Lot of Rosie, and Let There Be Rock. Bon Scott rocks. So there we go. There. And Darren says, What's Next to the Moon has my favorite AC/DC riff. Typical, simple, yet groovy. Very, very cool. Got a couple that jump out to you, mate?
Oh, fuck, that's a hard one.
It is. With no time to think about it, it's challenging.
Live Wire and Rock and Roll Singer. TNT,
Okay.
I love that album. But Can I Sit Next to You, Girl? There's a lot of just great raw rock and roll on there. And when you're a young kid learning AC/DC, a lot of people just started with Back in Black. I went to that album. That was my album that I spent hours trying to learn it. Yeah. And, you know, you can't go past Thunderstruck. Just that intro. When you're a 10-year-old kid, you don't have a guitar, but you got a tennis racket. That's the shit. Right?
Everyone did that. That was monstrous when it came out.
Oh, yeah. What about you? What's your favorite AC/DC?
It is hard. One of my all-time favorite songs is Problem Child. I fucking love it. And just the timing in the song is cool too. But then I'll go to things like, it's typical as fuck, but Highway to Hell. I just love how iconic that is, the opening riff. Then at the same time, flip side of the coin, Back in Black, you know. That's
those two albums.
Yeah, but the two sort of opening tracks of those ones from memory, if I'm wrong, forgive me. But yeah, the way they have things with each other is great. But also, you know, just on a more recent note, I forget the name of the song now, fucking shoot me. But the one they did that video.
The video, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
What's it called? Something on the Wall. Is it? No, that's
Sorry?
Maiden. No, I can't think of it. But somebody do a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
All right, let me look. Hang on. I can pull it up. Give me a minute here. Let's get this done. Come here. Where is it? I'll know it in a second. Through the Midst of Time. That's it.
Through the Midst of Time. Yeah, nothing to do with pictures.
That's what it is there, unfortunately. But, you know, sorry for making it a bit more challenging. Unfortunately, at this time of year, my mind's fucking fried. But you know, there's some obvious gold in that one. Well, their entire catalogue for that matter. But, yeah, there's a few personal standouts of ours in that. There's obviously a lot more than that. You can go on and on, like you said, Thunderstruck as well. But anyway, just keep them coming. Keep letting us know what your favorite songs and riffs are, and we'll move on to another point, which is kind of actually a fitting little tie over here, with tomorrow being Aus Music T-Shirt Day. So you've got yours. I haven't got mine on. I'm saving it for tomorrow. But Aus Music T-Shirt Day is an annual event. It's a donate to it because it all goes to Support Act, which is a great thing, helping musicians and artists out there that need help with mental support and all that sort of stuff too. So get around. I'm going to put a link to this. The link is everything, like always. This link and all the other links we're going to talk about tonight are in the post that this episode is with. It's also in the comments now, the link to Aus Music T-Shirt Day. What we're going to do, I'll put a post up earlier today about it, and we've already got some submissions coming through, which is cool. But we're going to make sure, or whoever wants to, we're going to put up another post in the morning. If you want to get involved, send us a photo on that post of you wearing your favorite Aussie band T-shirt. And when it's all said and done, I'm going to sit down and make a little montage thing and stick it all out probably on Saturday or Sunday, depending on how time goes, just to make it a bit of fun there, to make it a bit more interesting and make it more interactive, dynamic, and that sort of stuff too. But yeah, put on a T-shirt, show some support, share the hashtag tomorrow, Aus Music T-Shirt Day. And, get in on it and we'll have some fun together. And if you can, donate to Support Act. You got anything you want to add to that one there? It's just a little quick spiel, but yeah.
What you said, get on it, donate, wear a T-shirt, get a photo.
Beautiful. Sounds good. Send us your photos. You've already sent me yours that your talented daughter took of you tonight, which is fantastic work by Jade. So well done to her. Yeah, that's come out really good. And yeah, I've got one from Nikki Nudes. I know I've got yours as well. So there's a few coming through already. I know that Andrew Marshall has been checking things out as well. So I'm sure we'll get some from him too. Last year went really, really well. I want to do better than last year. Last year went well. So there's a lot. So get in on it early because I want photos. I want to make it bigger than last year. Let's try and make it grow every year because it is that annual event, like I was saying. Michael has joined us. Hey, gents. First AC/DC album I ever owned was Flick of the Switch, and Nervous Shakedown's been one of my favorite tracks off that album for years. Very cool choice there. Well done. Thank you for joining us tonight. Lee's gone, got my Shotgun Mistress shirt ironed and ready to wear with pride tomorrow. Beautiful. Love it. That is what I want to hear. And Jeff, great guy. Hey, lads. Hope you're both well. Thank you for joining us, and happy birthday for the other day too, mate. I know I haven't said it to you in Messenger, but yeah, happy birthday to you. I did see it go through, but shit's nuts. So yeah, happy birthday. Hope you had a great day. And I'll be in touch with you about a few other things soon as well. So sit tight. That is coming. All right. On to some singles, Dave.
Yep, let's do it.
All right. So first up is a new one from The Butterfly Effect. So it's in the post. It's in the comments now. The Butterfly Effect is the band. The song is So Tired. It's a brand new single. Not really any word about a new EP or anything coming yet, but it's the first track we've had from them for a little while. So how'd you go, Dave?
This is cool. This is very cool. Heavy, dark, a lot of bite. I like the slight change in mood where it goes to the mellow moment for the chorus and it's perfectly back for the verses. Big ballsy drums down, nice guitar, melodic lines. Vocals are great. Now, there's a lot going on in this 5 minutes, and I've known of this band for a long time. I haven't heard much of their stuff, to be honest, but judging off this, I'm going to be checking out a lot more of their stuff. I thought this was really fucking good. Yeah. This is the type of heavy shit I like. This is instantly just fucking really well done. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Beautiful. Well, a big thank you to Lee, who's with us tonight, for pointing this one out. Yeah, I didn't even know this had dropped until he pointed it out to us. So a big thank you for letting me know about it. From memory, this is their first single since 2019. They've been quiet before that. I think the EP before that was 2016. So it's been a little while between. We did the special on them. Shit, that'd be a couple of years ago now too, wouldn't it? That special we did, the 3-way one with Carnival and 12 Foot Ninja at Whole Lot of Love. Fuck. So 2018, 19? I don't know anymore.
It'd be 17.
Fuck. Yeah. All right. That was a while ago. Anyway, we did a cool special on those three bands, and so that was for me a big introduction to them because I hadn't paid that much attention to them. But this is a pretty cool track, nice and punchy. It's got some good gear change in this one too. Like you mentioned, now it goes really melodic in the chorus, which actually is a quite beautiful and contrast nice with the way the riff and the verse works on this one. So I think it's got really cool lyrics about the rock and roll life. If you read the background of this song, it makes sense. So it's all very, very cool. I reckon if you're a fan of the band, it's going to make you very happy. If you are curious about the band, this is a good access point as well, because it is a progression for the band, but it also harkens back nicely to, I think it's a good old thing. If you liked, kind of remind me a little bit of things like what you got on the She Had 5-Eye or Heavy album a little while back there a bit too. So it's a bit of that kind of newer kind of style, but I really did enjoy it. It was a really cool track. So make sure you check it out. Let us know what you think of that one there. TC has jumped in saying, might go old school, my Candy Harlots Immortal Sin shirt. Very cool. Send us a photo. I want to see it. And I've got your message here too. I'm not going to reply to you while I'm on screen, but I will send you a link when we're getting close to it. So thank you for being keen. So it looks like I'll get Tim to jump in for the Fastway review because I know how much he loves that fucking album. So we'll get him in here for that. Nikki's joined us, of course. Hello, Cheekies. Joined a bit late, which is good. Thank you for joining us. And Nikki's gone, set looking great. AB appeals to my OCD. It's funny how you and the kids said the same thing. It's actually in straight lines, which makes it easier for people to take in, apparently. I don't know. I've never thought about it that way, but apparently it looks better like this. So there we are. People are happy with it. You will see more of it very, very soon. Nikki, you got to be here on Saturday, and you're going to see it in more detail. All righty. Let's move on to another single. Let's get some things happening. In the comments, in the description, you know what to do. Check it out. The band is The Last Martyr, and the song is called Freaking Out. So let's touch on this one here. So The Last Martyr, Freaking Out. Check it out. We're going to give our thoughts on it quickly now. So how did this one go for you, Dave?
Yeah, the band name has been going around. I haven't heard this band before, so I had no idea what to expect. Started out with a really nice heavy guitar tone. I'm like, okay, it's going to be some growling vocals, and there wasn't. And I was like, fuck yes, this is what I want. This is cool. The singer's got an awesome voice. It's really cool. It's a nice contrast to the music. And there's some really interesting lyrics, and she just delivers them perfectly. So, yeah, if you're like me and you've just seen this name, it's about time you check them out because this song's pretty cool.
Yeah. They've got a cool EP. Forget the name of it now, my apologies, from about a year or so ago now, maybe longer. And they've got a new one coming out. The EP is called Purgatory, and it's coming out December 10th. So this is like a good little drop in advance of that. The Last Martyr are one of those bands do things a little bit differently. They're the more modern approach of things, but they don't go all the way into it either. So they can dial back a bit to go a little bit more sort of poppy if they want to, but they can go very, very heavy. There is some growling in this one, but it's used to accent stuff, which is really, really nice, and they're fantastic what they do. If you like modern heavy music at all, this is something you've got to check out. This band in general have got a very good catalog so far. There's singles, check out. There's another EP, and there's more coming on December 10. Get around it now while you can. I love the groove on the riff of this one. That was really cool. I like how they are a little bit different to the rest, like I was saying before. But I like the darkness on this one. There's a nice darkness to this, and that's offset by the melodic chorus, which is this really nice, like there's some cool harmony in that part. I love Monica's ability to growl, like I was saying before. So the vocal and the way it sits within the songwriting is a really nicely presented sort of piece of work. I really did enjoy they've done this, and it makes me very, very keen to check out the EP. So definitely get onto these guys, because if they're anything like what has been happening with a few bands of late in Australia, then they're probably not. They're probably another one you want to sort of get onto while you can, because they're going to be very, very cool. Michael's jumped up to say, saw The Last Martyr when they supported Red Hook on their last tour, and this band's really great live. Hoping to check them out again soon. And that's two bands that are doing very good things. Red Hook are doing great things as well, and I know they're all very tight with each other as well. So he is hoping that the trajectory they're both on keeps going upwards, because they're both doing very cool things right now. But yeah, this is a very cool song. Check it out, and check out the EP when it comes out very, very soon. Soon Left goes Lacuna Core vibes. That's actually a pretty good point there as well. Does fit that darker, it's not symphonic metal, but it's female-fronted, modern, heavy rock to modern metal kind of thing, which is, but they do it with just a bit of a twist, which is very, very cool. They've got some cool videos too. Check out their videos as well if you can. All right, Nudes, if you're watching, next one's for you, mate, because you sent this to me earlier today. This is a band out of Adelaide called Meatbeaters. So something a bit more rough and ready is coming up next. So the band is Meatbeaters, and the song is Broken Man. It's in the description. It's in the comments. Check it out while we waffle on for a minute about this one. How'd you go with this one, Dave? It's a gear change.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. When I saw it, Meatbeaters / Broken Man, I thought, great, David Olsen has a new solo project, and it's like his life story, Broken Man. But I put it on, and it's anything but. This is pretty cool. Yeah. It's straight up raw, dirty rock and roll. Lots of energy, cool lead breaks, cool guitar tone. Lots of it's punky, but it's not bad punk. This is the type of punk that
there's an edge to
I
it.
can get into it. Yeah, and it would be very cool to see live. A few beers, a few mates, small, tight pub, just fucking great rock and roll.
Yep. For me, there was an old band, because they're from Adelaide, there was an old band I saw in Adelaide and actually filmed inside of a strip bar called Piston Broke. And so this kind of put me in mind of that old band from way back. It's gone back probably 8-9 years ago now, kind of thing.
Man. Meatbeaters need to perform in a strip club. That's fucking perfect.
Yeah, that would be kind of perfect, wouldn't it? But yeah, it's the same sort of vibe. So where Piston Broke were a Motorhead-inspired group, these guys have the same sort of vibe. So if you like anything sort of rough, ready, in the pub, dive bar kind of stuff, bit of Motorhead feel to it, yeah, this is cool. Any sort of Motorhead pub rock vibe, if that appeals to you, this is a band you should check out. It's rough around the edges. There's a B-side to go with this on Spotify and a few other tracks as well. It's nothing complicated. It doesn't need to be. It's not stuff you haven't heard before, but they do a pretty good job of it. And I think, yeah, if you like the old school stuff, you get a kick out of this one because it's a bit of fun. Like I said, nothing complicated, nothing new, but it's very well done and worth checking out, I think, because it'll be a bit of fun. It is just one of those ones where you put on a song or a release and you want a good time. It's one of those albums. Not a lot of thought is required to pay attention to things like this. And that's not a bad thing. That's actually a compliment because that's the sort of stuff that's easy to just sort of go, okay, fuck it, put it on, and it lifts your mood up straight away, which is pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Got some good comments on this one. Lee says, Nudes, hope you haven't been beating your meat today. So we'll let the boys banter back and forth on Facebook there. And Nikki replied saying, small, tight pub. So Nick is on fire with the banter tonight. Thank you. All right, on to one that I have to give credit to Marek Media for. Thank you for sending this one to us. It's a bit of a different one again. We've got a few gear changes in these singles tonight. So in the comments in the description, check out the next one is King's Vengeance. The song is Enemies. So band is King's Vengeance, song Enemies. Like I was saying, thanks to Marek Media for sending this one through today. How do you go with this one, Dave? I reckon this be up your wheelhouse a bit.
Yeah, this was cool. Didn't know this band at all, but I'm going to be following them certainly on Spotify and everything else I can. It just sounds fucking great. If you like the old 70s riff-driven classic rock, it's inspired by that. It's not a clone. It's not a rip-off. It's just, you can hear the influence, and they've taken it to somewhere else. And it's a 4-minute song, starts off cool, and then halfway through there's this shift. And it's like what they used to do in the old 70s songs. We have that riff halfway through. It's just like, fuck yeah, that is really cool. And Spike at the 2-minute mark, and I just think that's really cool songwriting, and it just makes the song instantly memorable and awesome solo. So ticked all my boxes. This is cool. I'm going to definitely keep my eye on this band. Yeah,
definitely. Well, they're a band out of Melbourne, so it'll be easy for you to follow there, Dave. And there's a second track a few months ago which has a video to go with it as well, so I might try and give that a run. Probably not this year with the way things are looking, but in the new year, I might try and give them a run on the telly version, what we do here. But this is a real sort of nice, fast-paced rock track. I like there was a nice sort of a gear change in the riff. It went to a chugging sort of a mode, which is a nice sort of change to it as well. The riff's nice and intense. If you're fans of things like Slash, which is where I thought you might get in this one a bit you'll get a kick out of this. Great melody on it. I like the driving of the drums as well, how it sort of kicks on a bit up in the mix as well. It was a nice little edge to it. And there's just a bit of a rough edge to it as well, which is a really nice, you don't want this sort of polished up too much. They've done a really good job of just making this just fit, which is really, really cool. On the one song alone that we've heard today, I reckon you can tell straight away there'll be a lot of fun to go and watch live, and I would be very, very keen to go and do that when we can, because this, it just feels like that. It's one of those songs where you just sit there and you listen to it and go, okay, fuck, this would be good in the pub. This would be really fun, and you can just imagine the band be able to play with this on stage as well. So definitely, give this one a go. All right, now onto the big name out of the singles we're going to talk about here, and this is a shout out to some viewers on Monday who let us know this one had dropped because, unfortunately, I don't get across of absolutely everything. This one's a couple of weeks old. We haven't talked about it yet, so we're going to talk about it now. This is Saxon with Carpe Diem. So that is the next band. You should know Saxon if you're watching us, and the song is Carpe Diem. Before I move on to that, the link to that is in the comments and in the description right now. But Lee says, agree, high quality hard rock tune, not over polished. Look forward to more from King's Vengeance. So there we go. We're already getting some fans for these guys right off the bat, which is what it's all about. All right, on to Saxon, the mighty, mighty Saxon. What did you make of this one, Dave?
Yeah, this is cool. As soon as you hear Carpe Diem, you just think Dead Poet Society. So that kind of puts you in the frame of mind before I even put this on. And then it's quite a haunting and melancholy intro. It's something a bit different from the band.
Yeah.
And after a little bit of that, and they've got this little horn thing, and then the band just kicks in with your familiar Saxon. So it was an interesting bit of a gear shift. And in the video, fuck, they're looking old. but they still sound like a band half their age. They still got their chops to sing it. He's still got his fucking voice. The chorus is very catchy, and even now you can just hear it. But yeah, if you're a Saxon fan, or even after all these years you haven't given them much attention, give this song a listen because it's certainly pretty cool.
Yeah. Saxon are one of those bands where they seem to get better with age, not worse with age. Biff, his vocal is still fucking smoking. Like, he'd be 70 plus now, I reckon. I forget how old Biff is now, but he smokes this one still. Like, and what I'm really excited about, to be a bit of a geek on this. Hey, Nicole, I think this is one of your ones. So you've joined us here tonight. Just quickly, I'm going to jump in. Nicole saying, evening all. I think this is because of you. I think it was your comment that made me realize this one was out. So thank you for telling us about Saxon. Assuming that was you. Also, Andrew Marshall's gone, hi guys. Thank you for joining us. I look forward to your photo tomorrow, by the way, mate. And Nikki's gone, oh, Saxon Pester entitled, interested to hear the review. All right, well, the album's coming out next year. The album is called Carpe Diem. It's the band's 23rd album, and it's due on February 4th in 2022. This one, what really got my attention to be the geek for a moment is that Andy Sneap is producing this, and that's the same guy that produced Firepower with Judas Priest. Ooh. So he's the one that I like hearing the older bands working with, because I don't get the impression he's willing to take a back step. He wants to push them, make them really give everything they got. So hearing that association, I know that's a high watermark with Firepower being the benchmark for it, but that gets me excited straight off the bat. And this is a very cool song. This, like I was saying, Biff doesn't get any worse with age. If you like traditional metal at all, you should be all over this band. But this song is just more of that. I think that it's been interesting because we've had new music from Iron Maiden and a few other ones this year as well, and now got this track. So some of the older guys, like Accept, did their one early this year too. So there's a few older bands that are going, okay, let's get onto it. And they're doing bigger and better things as they get older. It's because I think the shackles are off. They don't really have to give a shit anymore. They can do what they want. And so it's just sort of like, it's that liberating they can do it. They're not as angry, but it's that pure traditional metal. It's riff driven, melodic as fuck. Biff still sounds great. And I don't know, if you like I said, it's nothing groundbreaking, but I'm very excited to hear where this album's going to go, because this is the title track. It'll be interesting, but I do want to see where it goes. The video was interesting because I wonder if that was done on Hadrian's Wall in England as well, which is just a subtle little thing there with Biff being got some comments coming through which making me laugh. Yeah, but I loved this song. I think it's great. If that's a taste of the album, then it's one of those ones where it could be the older band throwing down the gauntlet to the younger bands next year, which is always great to see from my point of view. So I'm happy with it. If you like metal at all, traditional heavy metal with lots of melody, get on it, because the guitar work and the vocals will make you very, very happy very, very quickly. All right. Got some comments on that one, which is nice. Nikki's gone, had a fucking heart attack when you said Nicole. Because for those who don't know, Nikki hates being called Nicole. Jeff says, Biff is 70. I've been a fan of these guys since Denim and Leather. Yes, I'm old. Love the single. Nice. Good to see. Let's get some nice feedback here. Lee says, Biff has been busy releasing an album with his son early this year. That is true as well. Wow. I've forgotten about that one. Nice touch. Yeah, he's very busy. Nicole says, hence I mentioned it. It's great. That's why. So well done to Nicole. And there we go. So Nikki's replied saying some Nicole triggers for me. So Nikki's a bit touchy on that one. Lee said, you're a better version of you when you're angry. Some people might not agree. I don't think my wife would agree with that statement of me. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But Nikki, you're a better version of you when you're angry. Oh, okay, that's what it's to do with. So Nikki's a better of Nikki when she's angry. Let's get Nikki a few drinks and make her angry, and then we'll see how long we can all last. Probably not that long. All right, now we're going to go into an interesting one here, which is a bit of a different. Did you read this press release, Dave?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. In the comments, in the description, there's a press release which has come from a brand new record label called Atomic Fire. Now, for those that are curious about what this is all about, this looks to have been a complete splinter from Nuclear Blast. And from what I'm seeing behind the scenes with emails that come through and then emails that stop coming through and bits and pieces, there's a lot playing out behind the scenes that I don't know about. But when you read between the lines a little bit, it's like, okay, I think that Nuclear Blast and this group have just gone, they were working together and now it's just gone fucking crack. And I'm not sure of the reason behind it, but I think from memory, Nuclear Blast were bought out a little while ago. And then since the buyout, I've heard that things have deteriorated internally. So the person that founded Nuclear Blast, Marcus Steiger, has now taken his share of Nuclear Blast and created his own label again with focus on moving physical product and helping new bands develop again. So what did you make of this press release and this development, Dave? It's a bit of a different one to talk about.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't know what could have caused it, but some of the stuff you laid out there would certainly be a reason enough for it. But yes, no, something pretty major must have happened to step away from the company that you founded many, many years ago. But ultimately, I think it's win-win for bands and for fans, because bands have another option for what company they want to go with, and you just get more music out there, so fans can have more to consume. And reading what their goals are, they want to strengthen physical product and also drive forward digital. So with innovative ideas. So I'm curious to see what these innovative ideas are going to be. Obviously, not forgetting about us old farts who like physical. So hopefully they cater to everyone. And they also got mail order shops from countries all over the world, including Australia. So they're going to have a focus down here, which is cool for us as well. But yeah, reading through some of the lists of the bands they took, I mean, just Halloween and Opeth, to name a couple. That's some pretty big names there. So if they get some newer bands also signed to the label, this is going to be interesting to see what they do in the future. Nuclear Blast is pretty big in itself. So when you got all that knowledge going into a different company, I don't know if there'll be a friendly rivalry or a big rivalry between the two companies, but certainly interesting time.
It's an interesting one, because for me, behind the scenes, there are certain channels that I get emails from relating to the bands that are on this press release. And now those emails have stopped. So it's like, okay. So behind the scenes, that's why it could be completely, sorry, I should word this correctly. It could be completely amicable, because it's like any sort of house settlement. By the time, at this time, it's the deadline, then the keys and the property is yours kind of thing. It could be just that's the handover time and date, bang, it's done. Up until then, it's business as usual, and then you move on. It's just interesting to see where it shakes out, though, in the long term. Like I said, it could be a really, really good thing. I don't think it'd be a bad thing. I don't buy into that sort of concept at all. For fans and for bands, I think another option is great. Marcus's record pretty much speaks for itself. He built up, Nuclear Blast, since he founded it in '87. Now he's gone and felt passionate enough about this to go and do it all again. They've got Halloween, Opeth, Meshuggah, Amorphous, Michael Schenker Group, Primal Fear, Sonata Arctica, Agnostic Front, Rise of the North Star, Silver Lake, and White Stones. They've already added a new band. They announced their first signing. If I can get this thing. Yeah, Icelandic power metal band, Power Paladin. So that's their first signing as well. As we've discussed, they're going to touch on trying to push physical and digital at the same time, so they're not ignoring one or the other. It's just really interesting. It's a new one there. So they've got all the things on social. So if you hit the link to the press release, you'll be able to follow the label on all their socials. They've got TikTok. They've got everything. So TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the works. Follow them on all the platforms just to keep up to date with what they're doing. But yeah, having Halloween come across from the start after the year that Halloween have had is a pretty big deal. So I think there's a bit of a stake that's been split here, which is why it's been interesting to see behind the scenes for me personally that things have gone quiet from the Nuclear Blast side. And this one's not overly active yet. It's just kind of gone into a boom, and it's sort of like everyone's just holding their breath for a minute. I just haven't had days like I've had in that space. Like our Patreon supporters would have seen me talk about this a couple of times yesterday and today, but this is a bit of a different one. So it's like, okay, all right, let's see where it goes. I think it'll be a good thing overall. But yeah, some good stuff went with Marcus to the new label too. So there'll be a bit of a fallout in time. I think it'll settle down in the new year, probably not straight away in the new year, and then we'll see how it all goes. But interesting times ahead to see what both of these labels do. I would hope for a friendly rivalry, because this could be like, for us wrestling fans, like the Monday Night Wars. Each label trying to one up the other one by developing good artists and promoting, getting it. So for metal labels, a friendly rivalry is a good thing. But they could really shake up the scenery a bit, especially over in Europe. So I'm very, very curious to see what happens next in that space. So just wanted to let everyone know about it. You can follow them or not, up to you. But yeah, there's a new label out there, and they've got some big guns already. And there's a lot of new releases coming already slated from those bands we mentioned before for 2022. So a big year ahead next year. All right. So Nikki just before said, ouch, you sass my drinking prowess. So there we go. Well, Dave has bolted. I'm not sure what's happened there. Hopefully everything's all right.
Just had to turn my phone on. I got it plugged in. It wasn't turned on. And I got the warning, your phone's going to die. So I go switch it off.
Fair enough then. What's going on here? All right. Cool. Just making sure I'm not missing anything with the details coming through tonight. All right. I think that's about that. Let's get into the reviews. What do you reckon, Dave? You good to go on those ones?
Cool. Sounds good.
All right. So, Tim, if you're watching, not too long now, I'll send you a link when we do the next review. So there's 3 reviews. We're going to do the first one now. When we start doing the second one, I'm going to inbox you or DM you, the messenger you, whatever you want to call it, the link that you're going to join us with tonight. All righty. In the comments, in the description, you all know the drill. Let's kick things off the reviews tonight. We're going to start with Wicked Smile. So the band is Wicked Smile. The reference track is Date with the Devil. That's the newest video from the band. That's what you're going to check out to give yourselves a taste of this while we have a chat about it. So this is Wicked Smile with Wait for the Night. 10 tracks, 41 minutes, the debut album from the Melbourne band. Released October 2021 independently. Produced by Paul Lane, mastered by Bruno Ravel. This album contains the 4 tracks released on the Delirium EP in 2020. And the title track was released as a single prior to this album coming out as well. Been very keen on this since we did cover the EP back in 2020. And finally, we're getting around to reviewing this album. It's a couple of weeks old. We've had a big few weeks, so we're finally getting to it now. Dave, how did you go?
Oh, I went very well with this. This is cool. I have been waiting. After we heard that EP last year, it's like, cool. When's the album coming? When's it coming?
Yeah.
Oh, we finally got it. And if you like the EP, you're guaranteed to like this. You know, when you get a singer like Danny and you get a guitarist like Steve, there's no denying the hell of a lot of talent in this band. But most importantly, it's not just, hey, look what we can do. They've got some pretty fucking good songs on this. It's not on a wank fest. It's not a ego fest. This is just great songwriting with very talented people. They've obviously worked very hard on this. You can't really pigeonhole this band into a particular style.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a little bit of 80s, got a little bit of power metal. There's a bit of a European vibe in there, but they're basically just taking the best of heavy metal and melodic rock and fused it all together into this awesome sound.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's an upbeat album. There's just moments of bite and dark tones in some of the guitar riffs. And I think that works very well with the overall textures of the music and the overall melodic feel to it. It's all captured really well. The guitar sounds fucking beautiful. The riffs are big and they've got lots of balls to the tone. The opening song, Date with the Devil, that fucking solo, holy shit. And that pretty much, it really is. It just sets the tone for the rest of the album. Nice use of the flanger effects on the guitar and the opening riff of We Fall. Flanger is my thing at the moment. I love Les making
it. It is. You've been mentioning that a lot lately.
Yeah, just every time I hear it, it's just like, fucking, that's such a cool effect. It's so cool. But it was that Nesta album that really brought it out for me. Every week, every time we done a tape, it's like, flanger. Got to mention that. I like the changes of pace in the album. You got the laid-back song Sign of the Times and the ballad Don't Wait for Me. Just easy 40 minutes to listen to just over and over again. And Sign of the Times, once again, great guitar solo. And I love shredding. I love just finger, but it's cool to have melody. And that's the solo that just, you hear it and it slowly builds up. He lets some notes ring to start with, a few bends, and then you just get elements of shred. It's very, very well done. I like solos like that. But if you like any type of metal, you're going to like this. I give it 8.5 out of 10. Nice. Date with the Devil, Wait for the Night, Sign of the Times, and Last Goodbye were my standouts. Very cool album.
Nice. Well, the EP was impressive. We've covered that off. This album picks up right where that left off, and the title track is a perfect opener for this one as well. If melody with a bit of bite is your thing, give this a go. Like you'll notice the lead work on this, it's really fitting to have Stevie and Danny working together in this project. If you know the pedigree of those guys, well, then you'll know exactly what you're in for. If you don't, think of two of the more talented or way up there talented local Melbourne musos, because they both got impressive back catalogues to go through. But I like how they're working together and they're both sort of push and pull. Like seeing this live, I reckon you'd see it better, but in the album you can still hear it, how there's the push and pull between the lead solo doing its thing and taking the spotlight, and then the singer coming out and taking the spotlight. So that old school push and pull between those two elements is really prevalent on this one. And that's wonderfully complemented by the rhythm section. So the drums and the bass and the rhythm guitar on this really do a very good job of giving everyone else, or the other two guys, the platform to launch from. The previously released tracks from the EP are well placed, and they're sort of not quite together. There's a little bit of a block there, but not all at one sort of time. So they give you a thing where you're mixing the old with the new. So you got your familiar sort of anchor points and then the new tracks to sort of, get you through. And it's very well thought out, very well presented in that regard. And credit due to the mix with this one as well. So nice solid use of things like panning, the flange you mentioned as well, but there's little things like cymbal hits and stuff like that. There's great, little subtle things on panning, hard pans, sort of back left kind of thing. And the mix and the balance here are great, nice depth. There is some clipping, but, and that would normally irritate the absolute fuck out of me. But for what they're doing with this style of music, it actually provides the overdriven heat that's not over the top. So it's right on the edge for me, but they've done a nice job of just dialing it back just enough, but giving it a really good sort of crunch. It's only sort of people like me that don't pick up on it, but I didn't mind it, which is unusual for me in the context of what we're talking about, if you know what I'm like when it comes to clipping. Just the right amount of touch of polish on this one. There's still enough grit in this one too. The tones are great across this one. It's punchy, but you hear absolutely everything. And yeah, the tonal shifts, like the beginning of We Fall, like you mentioned, it really brings weight to this, along with some dynamics, which makes this album flow really, really nicely. I think there's good lyrics, good storytelling, which helps that along as well. Your first sort of drop in intensity on this one comes with Sign Off Times, and that's a slow but still a heavy track. And it's got great use of space. That sounds really huge. The way they've used reverb on that, which just fucking really opens it up. And, it's got some weight and grunt with it as well, which is a nice little change of pace on this one as well. There's some good little tricks in the composition too with the track that we've covered before in the EP, Delirium, how you've got the two different ways of the syncopation of the chorus, the word delirium. It's a little subtle thing, but it makes it really interesting and engaging to listen to. And, like I was saying, the one too much between the vocal and the guitar is just so fucking brilliant on this one too. And the big ballad on this, Don't Wait For Me, is a hauntingly beautiful track on it. It's a great story told of love and loss in 5.5 minutes. And the synth on that was really tasteful as well. It's a good soft to touch on this record. As far as album closers go, the song Stronger on this one is a great way to finish this off. It closes the circle nicely. And, this is really good. If you like us and what we do here at the show, then if you like riffs and melody at all, this is an album you've got to check out. I really enjoyed this one a lot. I would have loved it to have been all original songs, but as a complete package, including the EP songs, makes a lot of sense, and I've got no problem with it. It's just that, yeah, for me, I would like to hear more, and hopefully we do hear more from these guys sooner rather than later. But this is very, very cool. Check it out, please. So I gave it 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Date with the Devil, Stronger, and Days of Delirium are my standouts on this one. Cool. Nikki's commented here a few times now, so some serious talent in Wicked Smile, definitely worth checking out, and that's absolutely 100% correct. To the other stuff here, who doesn't like a bit of flange, eh? So that's Nikki talking about that. But then she also asked Dave, what is Dave wearing and where is Sister's doll? Because that's the photo we've got of you earlier on. It is
same
Sister's
T-shirt.
Yeah.
Exactly the same T-shirt.
It is. So there we go, Nikki. Just give me one moment here. Sorry. All right. Hold on. Cool. Sorry, I've got another message there. Quickly. I'll just sort of jump in here for a moment. Bear with me, folks. This is the perks of doing things live and on the fly. Cool. So I've just got another message here as well. So I've just sent TC the message he needs. What do we got here? Andrew Sladens has gone, can I get you to give the Stone Trip and the Reasons Why gig at Mr. Boogeyman Bar in Collingwood a shout out for tomorrow night, the 19th of November? He's gone, if it's not okay, that's okay as well. No, it's cool. I'm happy to do it. I don't know any more details than that. So if you're watching, Andrew, put the links in the comments if you can. But yeah, Stone Trip and the Reasons Why are playing Mr. Boogeyman Bar in Collingwood tomorrow night. So give that a go if you are in town and keen to get to a gig. There you go. Yeah, but feel free. No one's got a gig to plug. Just put it in the comments. I'm more than happy to have people do that. There's no, yeah, whatever. Get involved in the comments and share the love. Get it out. That's what this is all about. So Nikki's gone, wow, thanks. I was putting my fucking glasses on. Sister's doll rock. So there we go, Nikki. We proved that one for you as well. So I've sent TC the invitation to this. Hopefully he'll get to us very, very soon. But for now, we're going to move on, Dave. You and I are going to talk about the latest from Enuff Z'Nuff. So in the comments, in the description, you know what to do. The link is there for you to check it out. This is Enuff Z'Nuff with their cover of Back in the U.S.S.R, which will make sense in just a moment. So let's talk about this. This is Enuff Z'Nuff with Enuff Z'Nuff's Hard Rock Night. 10 tracks, 46 minutes. The 16th studio album from the American band, released November 2021 by Frontiers Records. I'm not sure who produced this. The promo material implies that it's a self-produced project, but I'm not entirely certain of that. 2 singles have been released from this in Cold Turkey and Back in the U.S.S.R, which is what you got there to check out. If that doesn't tell you already, this album is a dedicated Beatles cover album. It's not often we venture into this territory at all. It's a bit of the deep cuts segment of what we do here. So, Dave, you're a bit of a Beatles fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
So how did this stack up for you?
This is terrible.
Okay.
Fucking horrible. I'm not familiar with Enuff Z'Nuff. I know the name, but I always thought they were one of those second-rate bands that ultimately left to the death of glam metal in the 80s. They were more about image than about music. Granted, I haven't heard that much from them, but I heard a lot of people talk about them recently, so I was going to check them out, but based off this, I'll probably give them a miss. Now, I love cover songs. I like the Beatles. I like 80s rock, but this just does not work. And it's simply because there's no life to these songs at all. Just plods along with no passion, no emotion, no interest, and it's paint by numbers, basically. My wife absolutely loves the Beatles, so I'm like, should I play this for her? And she heard a little bit, she's like, that's an abomination. And I agree with her.
Wow, okay.
The rock part of Live and Let Die is completely devoid of life. And Revolution, you call that a scream? That's fucking pathetic. It's just, oh, man. You know, listen to the garage rock bands like the Kinks and the Beatles and the 60s early rock. That's a scream where it tears your throat out. This is like you could barely manage the interest to do it. I'm sure this band loves the Beatles. I'm sure it was a personal project for them, but there were much, much better covers out there. The Zoots cover of Eleanor Rigby is much better than this. I mean, Guns N' Roses cover Live and Let Die, much better. Motley Crue's cover of Helter Skelter, much better. And I'm sure there's lots of other bands that have covered lots of these songs. I think the Beatles are the most covered band of all time.
They'd be up there.
And this would be some of the worst covers I've ever heard. I've seen cover bands perform entire sets and like really, really old guys, and they've got more energy than this. I'm giving this one. It's not going on the board. It's getting 1. Simply because it's better than Limp Bizkit.
I like that's the benchmark there. Nikki's commented here before, so please, little baby Jesus, don't let Enuff Z'Nuff's albums suck. I love them. Generally haven't heard this one. So Nikki, you're going to get 2 different points of view. I will disagree with Dave to a point. But Nicole also said, gosh, I haven't thought about this band for 30 years. Yeah, they've been around for a while, and they sort of are a bit of a hit and miss kind of a band. It's one of those bands that have a lot of history but don't have the runs on the board, if that makes sense. The releases like this usually go one of 2 ways, either really well or really poorly. We've seen the poor example here with Dave. This one isn't a barn burner by any stretch of the imagination. I didn't find it terrible, though. But again, I'm not a diehard Beatles fan, so I can't really comment to what it's like from that point of view. I mean, it's easier to do these sorts of songs when the bass line is, good to begin with, kind of a thing. So if they're good songs, which the Beatles, generally speaking, wrote good songs, maybe not number 9, but the rest of the stuff is
number 8 with Barney.
Yeah. But generally speaking, the bass line that they're working from is pretty good. These songs are all right. So then you got that. But look, they've rocked it up a bit. They've done it pretty well overall. I'm not as over this band as I should be. The mix is pretty solid. Some good tones across the board here. I liked how it had a little bit of a live vibe to it. It didn't feel like it was sort of cut and paste in the studio all over the joint. I thought there was some little nice panning touch on this too. Like there was a little shaker on certain tracks and pushed them hard to one side or the other to make it really interesting on a deeper listen. So I actually found this album much more interesting to listen to with the headphones on and locking myself away psychologically with this one than when it was background music. When it was background music, it didn't grab my attention at all. When I sat down to really take it in, that's when I was like, okay. But again, me being a bit of a nerd on this sort of shit, I was picking up the little things and that probably covers a lot of ground for me as well. I think Chip did a good enough job on the vocals. I know he's not the most. I've got some more comments. I'll get to those in a second. He's not the most proficient vocalist, but he does a pretty good job here. But there were some nice harmonies. I don't know who did the harmonies, but there were some pretty well done harmonies on this one as well. And there was little things like on Eleanor Rigby, the strings were still there. They weren't as prevalent as they are in the original version of the song. They were back a bit, which made it a callback moment, not a highlight moment. But I thought they did that very well. And having it in that context worked with the way they were trying to rock things up a bit. I think in terms of execution, in terms of production and performance and stuff, they've done a pretty good job overall. They haven't helped themselves, though, by picking two of the most well-known covers ever. Doing things like Helter Skelter, which we all know Motley Crue have probably owned that one for a while now. Live and Let Die from Guns N' Roses, good luck topping that as a cover. So they probably could have chosen different songs to make it a bit easier, because you've already, like, as soon as you hear those songs come on and you're hearing cover, you think of those two immediately. And it's hard to get that out of your head after so many years. Like, they might love the song and that's all good too, but I couldn't quite get behind those ones as much as I wanted to. I don't know. But the thing is that the softer track of Dear Prudence, that wasn't bad. I did like what they did with that one there too. It was a nice little spot on the album. It was a bit of a change of pace on there as well. And I don't know. It's interesting. Like, if you're a fan of the band and if you're a fan of the Beatles to a point, maybe not, because Dave will disagree, but if you're a fan of this band, I think that if you like Enuff Z'Nuff and you do have some interest in the Beatles, this will be interesting to you. I think that if you're not a big fan of Enuff Z'Nuff and you do love the Beatles, this is probably not going to do anything for you. And if you're not a big fan of Enuff Z'Nuff, this is probably not going to make you a fan. So it's one of those albums where it's for them, it's for their fan base, it'll be for those people that enjoy it. I think that outside of that, you're probably going to be hard-pressed to find a lot that will go, wow, this is amazing, because it's not. It's well done. It's executed well. It's a competent recording and a competent album done with enough differences to make it enough of their own thing. But at the same time, I'm not going to reach for it. I don't hate it. I'm not going to put it away and bury it. But I'm not. If I go through my record collection or music collection, I'm not going to go, wow, I'm going to pull that one out, because there's nothing really there that makes me go, okay, I want to hear this album again, kind of thing. So it's well done. It's worth listening to if you're a fan in particular, but I don't know if there's enough there to make you go back to it again after you've listened to it. So we'll see how it goes with that, but make sure you give us your thoughts out there. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Eleanor Rigby, Dear Prudence, and Revolution were my standouts. And Revolution's one of those songs where it doesn't matter who does it. It's a good song. Dave is probably disagreeing with me and going, you fucking...
that's terrible.
Yes. Here we go. Some good comments come back and forth here. Tim, jump in. I sent you the link. This is where you got to come in now, mate. So Tim, if you've done your housework and stuff, this is the part where you got to jump in. We're waiting on you. We'll move on and hopefully we'll get you back in time. But we'll go to the comments here first. So Nicole had a good chuckle before Nikki's comment. But Powered to Management have jumped in to say Stone Trip and the reasons why Mr. Boogeyman Bar. The link is in the Facebook comments for that. Go and check it out, please do. What do we got here? So Nikki's gone, Ari, the behind the scenes chat. Add Enuff Z'Nuff to the one I said fucking love them. Okay, cool. Alrighty. That's behind the scenes for us there. But she's scared for this cover album though. Nikki, if you love the band, this may not do it for you. Sally's gone, oh my God, my ears. Nope. Nicola said, Sally, your game to even go to the link. I didn't even bother. So there we go. We have Tim here. So just sit tight for a second there, Tim, while I jump through the comments. Andrew said the last album of covers that Enuff Z'Nuff did, Covered in Gold, was great, but knowing how much of a fanboy Chip Z'Nuff is of the Beatles, it could be a good listen. I'm going to reserve judgment, but I haven't been killing myself to check it out, and that's probably a fair assessment leading into it. Sally's gone the bin, wow. So that's it for Sally. She hates it. Lee's gone, is it the Beatles' gateway drug for Sally? I don't think so. Nikki's gone, curious. Fucking love this band. Wonder why they throw out a covers album. I'm a fan, but they don't feel the need to listen to this. And that's fair enough too. They did do a compilation album, I think, earlier this year as well, or late last year. What do we got here? Sally said, yep, I had a look. Dave's comments made me do it. It hurt. So there we go. There's that for a comment. All right, let's bring him in. We have the great TC. How you going?
Good. How are you?
Good, mate. I'm glad you could jump in for this one because I know you're a mega fan of this album. I know how much you love it. But before we do get started, Yes.
Can't see it.
Put it up on camera so everyone can see it, mate. There we go. That's
Nice.
it. That's the spirit. You were campaigning for this one in the Patreon page as well, so it got enough votes to get over the line in the end. We've got a few limited selections to go with this year. But before we get started, how are you going? It's been a little while, and you're joining us on a live stream now. But how have you been?
Yeah, good. Busy.
Yeah.
Been running around. It's been a crazy week with work and everything, but yeah, no, it's been good. Getting back into it slowly, but
Yeah.
The storms keep me busy. They keep me busy at work. So
Yeah.
those lots today are good and bad.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, you're already getting some positive feedback here, so I feel it'll pump the tires for you a little bit. You got Nicole giving the horns there, and also saying love it, Tim. So getting some love for the T-shirt, for the Fastway stuff there. All right, let's get into it. Let's have some. Sorry, mate.
Excellent.
Yes. All right. I know there's a lot of love for this one, so let's just get stuck into it. So in the comments, in the description, you know what to do by now. Follow the links, follow the details. This is a little band called Fastway. They've got an album out called Trick or Treat, and that's also the track that I'm playing or linking to you as well. All right, what do we got here? So Nikki's gone, TC, don't let me down. I'm with you. Love Enuff Z'Nuff, but kind of scared on this one. We'll see how we go. I don't think you should be scared of this one, to be honest. But Dave, did you cover this one last time?
I think we did when we did a Halloween soundtrack one at the old garage. Yeah. Yeah.
So we did cover it a few years ago. I was wondering if you were a part of that one or not. But I know if you weren't there, you would have been in the audience. Maybe we did it at the studio. I don't know anymore. It's been a while. But anyway, the band is Fastway. The song and the album is Trick or Treat. Let's have some fun now. So this is Fastway with Trick or Treat, 9 tracks, 34 minutes. The 4th studio album from the British band, released November 1986 via Columbia Records, produced by Eddie Clark, Will Reed Dick, Eddie Kramer, and Stephen E. Smith. One single was released in After Midnight. This album was the soundtrack to the heavy metal horror film Trick or Treat and was the last from the band to feature Dave King on vocals. This is quite popular in Australia. It peaked number 35 here, but with no other chart information available for it. And as always, it polls well every year, especially around Halloween, because it's one of those albums that everyone wants to talk about. And because it's turning 35 this month, actually, we figured we'll give this one a go as well. So, Tim, we'll make you wait for a second. Dave, let's go to you first.
Cool. It's been a while since I've given this album a listen to. It's one of those albums that whenever I listen to it, it just takes me back to a time and place. I don't think I heard the album for a long time after seeing the movie, and that movie I must have watched over and over, but in doing so, you get to know the songs. Yeah. And so putting this on, it's one of those moments in time, because I remember when I saw the movie, it's like I really identify with this kid. I was kind of the person in high school where it was like, how can you listen to that shit? Like, how the fuck can you listen to hip hop? But yeah, it's just a great display of what hard rock was in the early 80s. You know, fun, energy, it was carefree, simple times. There's no politics, there's no issues, there's no depression. It's just good vibes and it's fun. You don't have to think about it. It was just a time when the guitar was cool, rock stars were cool, and life was good. I love how the riffs throughout all the songs are that old school power chord driven. You don't have many single notes in there. You just got a cool rhythm, a cool riff. Songs all have great hooks to the choruses. More so in the first 3 quarters of the album, it kind of changes vibes towards the last 2 or 3 songs.
The back third. Yep.
Yeah, and I think up until about Get Tough, most of those are just very prominent in the movie. And once again, I'll go back to the movie because I saw it so many times. But the last 3, I'm sure they're in there somewhere, but you don't really get it. And they kind of overlook those songs until you have to get in a different mindset for those last 3. And if you can do that, it's still pretty good songs. So it kind of makes the album a bit more diverse and gives a bit more character to this band. You can't really overanalyze this too much. There's not many deep layers or anything. It's just a cool hard rock metal album. If you haven't seen the movie, check out the movie. If you haven't heard this, give it a listen. But it's a shame this band didn't get bigger than what it did. But just remember, a little bit of trivia I just found out recently. Blackie Lawless was actually down to play Sammy Kerr in the movie.
Oh, okay.
And it would have been a very different movie if he did that. But he backed out because they wouldn't let him use W.S.S. music. They're like, no, we've already got Fastway to do it. He's like, well, why the fuck would I need another band? I got a band. So he backed out. But, you still get Ozzy Osbourne as a priest and Gene Simmons as a radio DJ. So that's pretty cool.
I thought you were going to say rabbi then.
He plays the priest with his chin and his evil people. It's such a good movie. This is fun. I give it 8 out of 10. Trick or treat after midnight. Don't start the fire. Stand up, tear down the walls, and get tough.
Nice. Cool. All right, Tim. I know how much you love it. Go nuts.
Yeah, look, I'm probably like Dave. The fun fact of this album is what really grabbed me. I saw the movie first and then watched it countless times over. The movie's awesome. It's cheesy as shit, but it's so much fun. Oh, you gotta love it. And then when you get the soundtrack, you recognize all the songs from the scenes in the movie, so it just gives a little bit more of a layer to it when you listen to it because you remember parts of the movie, and then you watch the movie back and you listen to the songs again. And it's like, I can't get enough of it. I mean, I have to have it.
No,
very well done.
Look, I mean, the opening song's a cracker. Trick or treat, don't stop the fight. Stand up's a great song when they're when he's running through the halls, after he's having a blue with the bullies, and then tear down the walls is the one in the movie that breaks my heart is when he rips all the posters off the wall.
Yeah,
all those really cool posters. I'm like, that's just painstaking watching all those Judas Priest and Anthrax posters all getting ripped off the wall. Yeah. Oh, that's the hardest scene in the movie for me. It breaks my heart seeing all that shit get wasted. And then when he smashes up his stereo. But like Dave said, the other half too, like the couple at the end, if you could see the last song, I love that song. That's a really different. It sort of just changes up the album a little bit. Because like I said, the first 4, 5, 6 songs are really pretty consistent, and then it changes a little bit towards the end. But I don't. It's just a fun album. I mean, that's just the best way to sum it up. It really is. You tie it back to the movie, which is classic 80s camp, cheesy as shit. You got Ozzy and Gene, and it's just so much fun. Like it's just a great film. Like it's hard to it's just hard to pinpoint little bits and pieces. But the songs are great. The video clips, there's a couple of clips. There's one that's hard to find, which is After Midnight, but they did do a clip for it. But I think if you find it on YouTube, the quality is pretty shit. But
I found one good one on YouTube.
Yeah, and Dave King, I like his voice. It's just a bit unique. And you got Fast Eddie Clark on guitar, so you got a great guitarist. So it is a shame they didn't do any more after this because the album prior to this one was a bit so-so, but this one's great. So it is a bit of a shame, but yeah, it's just a fun album. Like it's just I had about 30 seconds to come up with something before I jumped on tonight, so I was trying to wing it a bit. But it's just a fun album. Like you have to have this in your collection. If you just want to enjoy yourself and not think too hard about an album and just enjoy the hooks, just get this because you can't not like this album. I don't think it's just too much fun. Yeah.
What would you give it out of 10? Do you reckon?
I'd probably give it a 9 just for the smoke. I love it. I love all the songs on it. It's great. There's not a bad song on it. So
are there any 2 or 3 that really leap out of you? You like top ones there, or does that change every time you listen to it?
Probably Trick or Treat, Don't Stop the Fight, and Stand Up are probably my 3 that I really like the most. Yep.
Cool.
So my standouts.
Nice. I've never seen the movie, so I'm going to put that on the record now. I'm not the biggest horror buff like you, Dave, in particular. I know how much you love it.
It's a heavy metal movie, though.
Yeah, but like, when do I sit down to watch a fucking movie? Like, I don't.
THRS Saturday night the movies. We got to watch it.
Yeah, okay. We'll do that one as a stream one day, and Tim will get you to join us for that as well. Look, I'm curious. It's not the case of not wanting to. It's just I never get around to doing it. What I've seen in the video clips, that makes it more than enough interest. Because you can see the clips where the guy's firing fucking lightning bolts over the guitar and stuff. It looks cool. There's nothing wrong with that in terms of horror and that. And I used to like the old 80s stuff. Now, this is one of those albums where if you were present in the 80s, this is going to take you back to the right place. If the other Tim was reviewing this, I'm not so sure he'd love it as much because he wasn't there for that era. Does that make sense? It's one of those ones where if you're present, it'll get you. If you weren't present, it'll probably annoy you, to be honest. Yeah. But for me, this is a lot of fun. It's not a complicated listen. The first half of this really does just fly through. It's all that riffs and hooks and melody and just old school 80s metal. It actually sounds pretty fucking fresh for an album that's turning 35. This month. So it actually has held up remarkably well for a band that didn't hit the heights that it could have hit, especially when you go through the pedigree in this one. And so there's some comments here. Okay, thanks, Nicole. I'll get to your comment in a second. Not that it's much, actually. Let's go quickly here. She's got the whole face palm emoji going. There we go. So I'm ruining my cred, I know, but I don't give a shit. It is what it is at this point in time. But yeah, Jeff said before here that, Fastway was actually a supergroup. Fast 80 Clark Motorhead, Pete Way from UFO. Dave King doesn't do metal anymore. He now does Irish folk music. So there we are on that front. The talent is definitely there. The production's good. I was surprised when I saw who was producing it because, they're not regular names you associate with production in the 80s. But they've done a pretty good job. And it's held up really, really well. Now, talent's there. The songs are there. It's all good. Again, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's just a lot of fun. It's one of those ones like before where you put it on for just a simple listen, something to pump you up for a half hour. It's going to do it pretty quick. Where it gets really interesting is the middle track, Tear Down the Walls, is kind of the first sort of filler moment on this one for mine. Though, when you're really getting into it and analyzing it, it's like a 2.5 minute song, which I'm not sure what the entire purpose of it was, apart from being where you'd flip from side A to side B on the vinyl. I'm assuming that's where it is on the vinyl there, Tim.
It's the last track on side 1.
Yeah, so that's where it's that moment where you sort of take the mental break before you switch it over. So I wasn't like in that context. It works when you listen to it digitally. It's like, yeah, okay. It wasn't bad, but it just didn't quite. I didn't think it did quite enough, but it was still all right. But what you get in the last few tracks, in particular, Heft and If You Could See, that's a really cool. I think they've been released on other albums either before or after this one as well.
Heft has.
Heft has, okay. And it's for songs that weren't necessarily quote unquote meant for this album, they fit. And that's a really cool thing to do for these guys, to have had other songs there that they've tacked on to make it an album, which makes sense in the context. You don't want just fucking 5 songs. It's an EP. And back then, EPs weren't really the big thing to do for a soundtrack. So you tack on a couple of songs to make it worth your while. And they found ones that really fit. Now, Heft actually ended up being one of my standouts on this one because it's got a really cool vibe to it. It reminded me, they took a page out of the Led Zeppelin playbook with the way the groove and the way the drums were hitting in time with the guitar, and that was a really nice touch on this one as well. And If You Could See, it was a nice way to sort of close it out. So the back half of this, like the first half is like just all 80s metal, 80s typical metal with the big reverbs and all that sort of stuff going on, the great guitar tones of the year, all the very wet sound, very, very cool. Big hooks, big vocals, all those things there. And then the back half of this where it's okay, you get a bit more of what the band's really about because you can tell, they're not writing to a thing, but what they're doing really works for the movie. The back half is like, okay, let's just be ourselves for a couple of songs, and that's where you get more diversity, which is actually what makes me want to check out more of the band. Being not a huge connoisseur of them, it's one of those ones where you sit there and go, okay, that makes me more interested because there's more strings to the bow. So those are the ones that really sort of hooked me in at the end of it as well. Like I was saying, if you're present in the 80s, this is an album you had to listen to. If you haven't, if you're more like me and aren't all over this, you got to get onto it because this always goes very, very well. It's well loved here for good reason. It's a great album. If you were not present in the 80s, maybe not, but give it a go anyway. So there you go. Some people do like it, but people like Tim who don't gravitate toward it, our other Tim, people like that aren't going to gravitate toward this one either. So here you go. But I think it's well worth your time. It's a half-hour listen. You can't go fucking wrong. It's up on all your streaming services now, and if you really do enjoy it, the hook is there. It's up there with like tracks like Metal Health for mine, just that 80s pure hook that's songs you just hear it straight away in your mind when you think about the song titles and all sorts of stuff. So it's up there with those classics for mine. Just didn't quite get the hype that it deserved, but this is a very good album. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Trick or Treat, After Midnight, and Heft were my standouts on this one there. Let's get to some comments. We've got a lot of comments coming through on this one. So Nikki said before, I thought Tim would be in on the Enuff Z'Nuff review. Think I was there for that review. For the old one, for the review we did at the old studio or the shed. Jeff says, I went to see this movie when it came out in 86. Loved the album. Incidentally, just watched the movie a couple of days ago. Well, that's good timing. But every year, Halloween, this one, whenever we do any audience polling in Halloween, this album or the title track just goes fucking nuts every single year. So there was no way we're going to avoid it this time around. Andrew says, Trick or Treat was the gateway to Fastway, and they are just awesome. Made me dive into the back catalogue. Dave King was the voice of this band. There's a lot of talent in this group. Yeah, go and check it out, and check out the other stuff they've done as well if you haven't too, because there's a lot going on there as well. Touched on that one before. Nude says, going to have to rewatch this movie. Haven't seen it since the VHS rental days. Wow, that's going back a bit.
yes, I've got a nice little spam comment from Twitch. I'm not going to bother engaging that one. Nicole says it's in my vinyl vinyl collection. So very well done there. That's hence the face palm for me because here we go. Lee's gone, got to unfuck that AB. Must watch the movie now. I will. And then we'll do something on that as well. Nikki's gone, AB, I hate horror movies. Sorry, Dave. I'll come over for a movie night with you and Jodes. This will be a fun watch. I'm not sure. Have you or haven't you seen it? I'm never quite sure with your typing, Nikki. Sorry. If you have seen it, awesome. If you haven't, just as good. It's all good. Sally said, if you're an old metalhead, it's part of what themed the good old days. It's a bit cheesy, wanky. It's got some metal sparkles, but it's old school fun. I haven't seen Trick or Treat a lot for so long. That's the thing too. It's got that little bit of cheese in it. It's that wink and a nudge kind of an approach, but it's not tacky. I think it actually is held up pretty bloody well. There's cheesier ones than this out there by a long way. This one's pretty nicely. Okay, here we go. Jeff's gone. The song Heft was actually from their first album. That makes sense for me as well. Nikki says, don't stop the fight, my fave. I'm not sure what yes is now. Okay, I'm confused now, Nikki. Nikki's gone, wet sound, play that, the tight little pub. Wow, where are we going? Okay, so Nikki's gone, have seen it. All right, cool. So she has seen it. But we'll all do a Saturday night movies and watch that one together, and we'll stream the result of that. Jeff says the song Say What You Will from their first album is still great to this day. A song that gets regular play in Canadian radio. Awesome. And he's also said there, it's difficult to find on streaming services, but there's a great copy on YouTube. All right, I'll check out that song as well. But this album here is available on all your services. So, yeah, if you haven't already, please do check this one out because that was a nice little way to sort of wrap things up there. You able to hang around for a minute there, Tim, before we... Yep. Cool. All righty. So I'm going to quickly go through the motions and wrap things up, unless there's anything else you guys wanted to add to those ones there.
Nah. I'll be playing the priest is fantastic.
No, you just need to see the movie.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll make sure I see the movie.
And then songs like Tear Down the Walls will make sense to you as well when you watch the film.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll link up better, but even as it is, I gave it an 8 out of 10 without even seeing the movie. So, if that tells you something, that gives you more of the strength of the songs on its own without having the recall to go with it, kind of a thing. Lee says, Nikki is seemingly taking you down the rabbit hole. Cryptic. Yeah, Nikki, you're a lot of fun, but sometimes you confuse me. Love you to death, though. All right. So, our next streams coming up are going to be interesting. I'll get to that in a second. Before we do that, make sure you're following us, like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, all those little things that we always fucking say every time, because that's what helps us get the word with these streams out there as well. Check out our TV broadcasts as well. So in about half an hour from now, we're kicking off at 10 p.m. local time on Channel 44 in Adelaide. On Thursday nights, that's every week. And then Saturday night, 10:30 p.m. on Channel 31 in Melbourne. That's when we have our TV broadcast video. And check out that side of what we do. A big thank you to our Patreon supporters. So TC, he's here with us tonight. So a big thank you to you. Lee McDonald as well in the comments. I've seen you here as well. Sonia, Andrew Marshall, I saw you here earlier as well. 16x9, Beck Mitchell, Carolyn Mallet, Jason Winch, Marty Powell, Sam Biondo, Trash Vegas, Andrew Heyman, Brendan Ellison, our own Brendan, Daniel Bateman, Gwyneth Richardson, and Man Family. Thank you for your support. If you want to help us out, check out our Patreon page. The link is in the description or the post. Just like everything else there, you can follow us with. So check it out and give us a bit of help there if you'd be so kind. And a big thank you, of course, to our fantastic sponsors in Squidding, Shrimping, Old Colt, and Rockstar Finance. Their details, as well as ours, are in that post description. So check them out. Give them a like. Give them a follow. All that sort of stuff there as well. All right, cool. I've got some more comments. I'll get to those in a moment. All righty. So, like I was saying, the Tim, you would have seen this hopefully in the Patreon stuff early on, but the next few weeks are going to get very, very interesting. So we're trying to go and keep things as regular as we can until the end of November when it comes to the stream. So the Monday nights and the Thursday nights. Then once we've filmed on Saturday and things go a bit nuts, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out because we'll try and do a regular stream at least once a week in the first couple of weeks of December, but we are planning special events. So our top 10s for the year will be a live stream. We're going to do a torture special, which will be a live stream. So there's some different events coming up in December before we actually take a break for going and doing what we do over the family season, so to speak. So just follow us on social and you'll be up to date with all those things as they play out. But over that period of time between the end of the year and early next year, there'll be also the audience choice top 10 of this year and the audience or we'll do a top 10 of the decade, kind of a special presentation as well for those in that regard too. There's a lot going on, so just make sure you're following us. What else have we got here to plug or talk about? I don't know. I've done the TV spots. Our next special is Motley Crue, which we're filming on the weekend. And then after that, it's Christmas. So we've got all sorts of silliness, like I was just saying there, coming up for the end of year break. So there's a lot going on. Just keep following us. And like I was saying before, if you want to help us out, it'd be greatly appreciated. You get a lot of value for not a lot. I don't think. How are you finding it, Tim? You're the Patreon supporter here. I'm hoping you're enjoying what you're getting out of it.
Yeah, it's good. There's heaps of new stuff. I know I've never heard of half these bands that you're chucking on there. So, yeah, it's good. There's plenty there. So, you'll get something out of it, surely, if you jump on board. It's a pretty diverse range of music you chuck on there every night.
It is. So. But that's what we listen to every bloody week as well. So, we take some twists and turns. You'll find some you like, some you won't like, but that's the point, isn't it? It's all about the journey and the exploration. All right, let's get some comments here before we go on. So, Tim, this will give you a minute to think about a bin. So, we're going to get you to do something, put something in the bin. So, think for a second while we go down this path here. What do we got here? I'm trying to go back here. All right, so Jeff says it's difficult to find a streaming service. Great copy on YouTube. That's the movie we're talking about there. Sally's gone, this should be the next movie you watch live streaming. That's it there as well. Nikki says, not sorry, intentionally confusing, rabbit hole inducing. So there we go. That's Nikki having fun for the night. Andrew is still here. Thank you for joining us. Oh, here we go. Speaking of trouble, here's Nikki.
Oh, here we go.
Hello. Fuck it. Thought I'd say hi in person.
Beautiful. Hey, Nikki. Good to see you. 1 second, Nikki. Lee said, looking forward to the new Crash Start single tomorrow. So we're all very keen for that as well.
Yeah.
And Andrew says, apologies to bands for whom I only have size XL T-shirts. I'll be wearing the 2XL tomorrow. So there we go. All right. Send us your photos tomorrow. Aus Music T-Shirt Day is there. So please do get involved. Send us your photos tomorrow. Nikki's got her Blaze top on there, which you can all see in the stream. Andrew is saying hi, Nikki, to you there as well. So a special mention to Nikki from Andrew. So thank you for joining us, one and all. All right, Nikki, how you going? You jumped into a live stream randomly. Very cool.
I did. I had to jump on and tell Dave that do not judge Enuff Z'Nuff on that fucking covers album. I haven't listened to it, and I don't think I'm going to bother. Enuff Z'Nuff are fucking fantastic. I actually thought Tim C would be on to review them, so my bad. Didn't read the notes. Tim, you're with me on this. Please tell me Strength is up there for you. Please tell me it is. You
know how much I love 80s hair metal bands and all the rest. Enuff Z'Nuff are just one band that I just never got into. I don't know. They just did nothing for me. Nothing. Just didn't like them. So, sorry to break your heart on that one, Nikki.
Tim!
Probably 95% of the bands from that era.
My giant friends, my random no-name hair metal bands that no one else knows but you, friend. I'm devastated. I'm fucking shocked and devastated.
I don't own any of their albums.
This is a travesty. I'm like, my soul is dead. Tim,
I'm sorry.
You were my man. Dave hadn't been exposed. Andrew could have been either way. You were the guy I was pinning my bet on.
Well, I'm sorry.
I like Tim. I'll take Tim's advice.
No, Dave, don't.
No, they've got better stuff than that. They've got better stuff than that. I've not heard all this stuff, but they've got better stuff than that. That's not their best.
Wow. I shouldn't have joined this live stream. This is an epic fucking fail.
No, this is the best thing ever. This is where it goes crazy. This is good.
Nah.
If you're in the comments, hang on. If you're in the comments with us still, let us know your favorite Enuff Z'Nuff album. If you are a fan of Enuff Z'Nuff, let us know in the comments what album people should check out to win the money.
Strength.
Okay. All right. We got some comments here. Hang on. So Andrew said hi, Nikki, before. Lee says, yay, Nikki is in the fucking house. Andrew said, hey, Nikki, welcome back, stranger. Nicole asked, hey, Nikki, did you ever get the number plates? I had Nick 666.
Nicole. Oh, I'm so triggered saying that name, Nicole. No offense, beautiful girl. My number plate's arm is 6, so close enough.
There we go. Nude says I liked them before they changed singers, Nikki. So there we go. That's fair enough.
Hey, that.
Andrew says animals with human intelligence from Enuff Z'Nuff was their best, in my opinion. Check it out.
Yes, Andrew. Is that Mr. Sladen's? I haven't got my glasses on.
Andrew Sladen's.
Absolute superstar AS.
Yes. There we go. Jeff says I sold Enuff Z'Nuff to Enuff Z'Nuff. Can't stomach them. Sorry, Nikki. So. Sorry, I've said enough is enough to Enuff Z'Nuff. Wow. Fucking, I'm not doing any tongue twisters tonight. Lee says, concur with T. Never warmed to Enuff Z'Nuff. And Nicole says, couldn't name an album of theirs. So there we go. How's the fangirl moment going for you, Nikki?
It's okay. I'm happy to be transparent. I'm happy to be open to everyone's opinions. I hope I can change one of them, though. My gosh, I really do encourage people to go and listen to their back catalogue, not the cover shit.
Yeah. I agree with that. The covers aren't their strongest work. Now, I'm not a huge fan, but they've done some good stuff in the past. I can't sit there because you go through Strength looks like one of the ones that's the most popular for them in the listing base. So, and that's the one you think is the one to go to. Yeah.
Yep. But if people like fucking Skid Row and Poison and Rat and Slaughter and those kind of bands, it astounds me that you wouldn't like Enuff Z'Nuff. That actually intrigues and amazes me.
Because all the bands you just named are far better than Enuff Z'Nuff. So that's why.
Hey, Dave, we can just sit back here.
Yeah. I'm learning.
Wow. Maybe they are better, maybe they're not. But I guess my point would be if you like those other bands like Slaughter and Trickster and those kind of guys, Enuff Z'Nuff fits right into that. It's alongside of them. I don't think it's worse than them at all.
No. Well, I don't know. But just for whatever reason, they just didn't jump out at me like all the other ones you named. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Another one here too is like Jeff has mentioned. It's Enuff Z'Nuff was like Bullet Boys. Never heard anything I like back in the day. Bullet Boys, another one that got a long history, never quite cut through. We've listened to some of this stuff before and it's been okay, but you can see why at the same time they didn't cut through to the same heights as other ones. Flip side here is that Nude says New Thing is a great song, and here we go.
New Thing is a great song.
There we go. And Lee says, keep TC as a regular. I like the cut of his jib. So there we go.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful, Lee. Nice.
Yeah, very well put. I have to reach out to you as well, Lee. You gotta run something by you too. But I think we'll continue this madness behind the scenes for a little bit longer. Is there anything else you guys wanted to add on to this one before we do sign off for the night, though? Before we do go way too late?
No, I think I'm good.
Nikki, anything you want to say to the audience while you got the platform here?
No, not at all. Support Australian music. Show us your pictures of your T-shirts. It's the best. Just do it.
Yeah. We got a lot last year, so I want to make it bigger. So we've already got some photos coming through. But yeah, tomorrow is the day. Wear an Australian band T-shirt. Send us a photo. We'll put a post up in the morning to give you all a shot. Otherwise, there's one from earlier today. You can put it on there as well. Just link it or put the photo in the comments. Or if you want to direct message it to us, do that. Please get involved, and we'll make a big slideshow of that as soon as we can to sort of celebrate everyone getting involved. And if you can, please donate to the cause. You'll see the hashtag kicking around tomorrow, but the Support Act is the charity that it's all going to because they sorry, I got a comment here, but they do great things to help out music and the arts in general. So yeah, get around it. It's a big thing tomorrow. So do the right thing, show a bit of love, and if nothing else, just share a post with the hashtag to keep the awareness going on the social media side of things. That's all. If that's all you can do, that's more than enough. Michael C has said, "Got the red cap for you, Dave."
No, fuck.
Dave Durst. So fucking getting a Dave Durst T-shirt. Like, try and stop me, pricks.
Not good. Not good.
It's happening, Dave.
I saw a 7-Eleven at 7-Eleven today. They had a new Slurpee flavour called Red Durst.
Yep. Is that legit?
That's legit. I didn't try it, but it was there. Red Durst.
Red Durst.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Is that when you know you've made it if you've got a fucking Slurpee flavour named after you?
Yeah.
I want a fucking Slurpee named after me. That's fucking immortal shit. Put that on my tombstone.
I can't top that. Nifty, thank you for joining us. She's gone King Parrot. Here we come. Send us a photo tomorrow. And Nicole has gone decisions. Which T-shirt to wear? Now, that's always the hard part. But just find one. It's okay. And you'll do. We'll be happy with it. Old, new, doesn't matter.
Nick, I think I have like over 300 local band T-shirts, and they're all alphabetically arranged in my wardrobe. And when I say over 300, I'm not actually making that number up. That is a genuine number. And they're all A to Z, alphabeticized. Ablaze was, I think, first. Might not even been first. I'd have to go and check. But yeah, Nick, do it. Just pick one at random. Just like go through your racks and just stop there and just go, whatever that one is, yank it out and wear it with pride, babe.
Fashion tips from Nikki. Hang on. Nifty's gone. Do I have to block out the swearing part? No. Like, fucking no. Do you watch us? Clearly you do, but yeah. Andrew has gone, Enuff Z'Nuff. We're checking out a link here. So I can't share the link, but it's in the Facebook comments. If you want to check out more from Enuff Z'Nuff, Andrew has shared a good track there. And Nicole has replied to Nikki. Oh, fuck, it's been fucking crazy tonight. OCD is real, Nikki. And Nikki is saying the same thing about the goddamn posts behind me tonight.
I have massive OCD, Nick. I have issues, mate. So yeah, OCD is real.
All right, let's do a bin. Let's move on to Nikki. You've got a second to think about a bin, all right? So you're going to put something in the bin in a minute. All right, so think for a second. But it's that time of the night. We start to wrap things up. Make sure you check us out on telly very shortly. We're going to get out of here in a minute. But before we do, we go to the bin as always. So Dave, let's start with you. What do you got for the bin tonight?
Something I can't describe other than a lockdown hangover. I used to think I was in rather good shape a couple of years ago, but getting back to full-time work, it's just killing me these days. And I'm not doing anything different to what I did pre-lockdown. You know, I put on a bit of weight with the beer and the food and, you know, the COVID kilos, but yeah, it's going to take a bit to adjust and get back to what I was usually doing. So lockdown hangover and my own lazy ass in the bin.
All right. Yeah, I've been there before. I'm with you now at the moment too, so you have my full sympathy on that one. TC, I gave you a minute to think. What have you got for the bin?
Well, I was going to put you in there for not having seen Trick or Treat. I mean, come on. That's just not good enough. Right?
That's okay.
You have to have seen that film, right? But I won't do that to you. I'll give you a chance to see it.
All right.
I'm a little bit similar to Dave. I was going to put in lockdown because speaking of Aussie band shirts, I've got about 30 or 40 of me cover that I bought pre-lockdown. None of them fit me now. It's been a tough couple of years. So I'll have to squeeze into a couple tomorrow and just do a headshot or something. So
Hashtag relatable, Tim. Hashtag relatable.
Yeah,
why can I feel like there's some side content of THRS boot camp coming up out of all this and where we're going?
Yeah. So yeah, that's my bin.
All right.
Shirts.
Fair enough. What about you, Nikki?
Yeah, I've got one. I don't know how relatable this is. This may or may not resonate with some of the viewers out there. So in my job, I spend all day on my computer, and the majority of that day is in meetings via a Microsoft application called Teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I spend a lot of time presenting or sharing screen or doing my do. And with Teams, it gives you a notification. Like if you're on a call or presenting or in a meeting, if someone's trying to contact you for some reason, it clearly states that I'm not available and why I'm not available, i.e. on a call, presenting, in a meeting.
Yep.
And the amount of people that just fucking randomly call me or say, hey, Nikki, are you free? Rah, rah. It's like, look at the fucking icon, bitches. Clearly I am not free. And there's times where I'm like doing a presentation and it's like, you know, I'm Miss Professional. Outside of here, I'm actually professional. And I'm doing a presentation. You are actually very good at what you do. Yes. I am actually serious about my day job. Believe it or not, I really am. So when I'm doing a presentation, whatever, I'm in that moment and my 100% focus is on what I'm doing for work. And all these people try and call me and I just hang up on them. I'm like, can you not fucking read? I'm busy. I'm not available. Send me a message and I'll go back to you. No wuckers. Do not fucking call me while I'm in a call. Just no. It triggers me, man. It seriously fucking triggers me. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that. I'd love to see some comments in the chat. If anyone else has to deal with Microsoft Teams all day, every day, please tell me you know what I'm banging on about.
Yeah. No, we don't use Teams for our setup here. We use an entirely different rig, but no, I do sympathize with it because I know how busy you do get. The amount of hours you put in, I do know what you do. So, yes, that would be frustrating to say the least. I'll get to the comments in a second. I'm going to quickly do my bin, and it's going to be a bit serious for a moment if I can. I try to keep these ones light, but I can't this week. This is not about. I don't care what your political point of view is. Okay, it's not about that at all. But if you think that death threats and taking gallows and
saying you want to see people dancing in the rope is okay. Yeah. I'm all like protest, have your point of view. That's all good. I'm not here to tell you not to do that, but there's a line and when you jump over it, not just step, you jump over it. And then it just, if nothing else, it does the entire cause you're fighting for a great disservice because it diminishes the argument greatly when you start going down that road. So can we just, like, this is not, and it doesn't matter what the cause is, all it is. If you're going to do it, that's fine. Just let's not have death threats. They've arrested a couple of people now for this sort of stuff. It's crazy. And when there are politicians' home addresses being leaked online too, it's kind of terrifying. We've seen people die in the US and the UK. Let's not go down that path here in this country, because I'd like to think we're still better than that for now. Just for a serious one there for a moment. I'm not trying to convince people to think one way or another, just with a bit of decorum, just a little bit of decorum and respect for other people in their lives and their families, because I tell you what, their kids don't deserve that, if nothing else. So let's not do that. We can be better than that by a long way. Sorry to bring it down a bit, but I just wanted to get the one off my chest and put it on the record there for everyone out there. All right, I've got some fun comments, so let's get back to a bit of fun here. Andrew's gone, I will wear and photograph a selection. Nice. I don't have 300, but over 50. I think 4 Blaze ones and massive as well, which is cool. Nifty has replied to the not hiding swearing's on. Well, great. I'm not here to fuck spiders, mate. Awesome. That is one of the best lines in a video clip ever. That and
one of my favorite sayings in life, whenever I get stressed at work and shit's getting hectic, I just sit there and I literally, no shit, Nifty, I go, I'm not here to fuck spiders. Let's just get on with it, roll up our sleeves and dive in and get it done. It's honestly truly what goes through my head.
Yeah. Here's a fun little game. I'm going to go first. Let's try and think of a really cool line from an Aussie band video clip we've seen, because we've had that one. One of my favorites is "I'm busier than a cat shitting on concrete" from 12 Foot Ninja.
That is 12 Foot Ninja. Yes, man.
That is fucking brilliant. Dave or Tim, have you got anything there that jumps to mind for you?
Nah, probably just the chats. All I need is a good pub feed. You can't.
Yeah, that's a good one.
With that.
Yeah.
No,
anything come to mind, Dave?
No, brain's not working.
No, that's all right. It's been a long day.
I'll probably think of something as soon as we sign off.
You will, but we'll be recording, so we'll do that in a moment. And Nikki, for you, Michael has gone, Microsoft Teams annoys me. I hate the status icons. They aren't always correct with people on my work Teams groups. So there you go. Again, I know nothing about that application. I don't use it in any way, shape, or form. I use StreamYard and I use Zoom. I have nothing to do with Teams. So there we go. Michael also said, I love that line from 12 Foot Ninja as well. I reckon that's an all-timer, that one. Busier than a cat bearing shit on concrete. That's I love those guys. They are fantastic value. All right. I think that's about it, though. Is there anything else we want to do before we get out of here? We're going to sign off and get on out. All right. Let's call it a night. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll be back again on Monday. I'm not sure what we're doing yet. We're going to go through the votes in the THRS Lounge. Join our Facebook group. Get involved in letting us know what albums you'd like to see us talk about next week. It's over there in that group. But we'll get out of here for now. We'll do it by order of screen when we sign off here, guys. So let's see how we go with this one. But until next time, I'm Andrew.
I'm Dave.
I'm Tim.
I'm Nikki.
Well done. Until next time.
Drink up.
Rock on.
Speak.